Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of My Chaotic Budget. My name is Sandra and on this channel we do all things budget related when it comes to mine and my husband's paychecks. And in this episode we are going to get into our paycheck budget for my husband's paycheck on April 9th. This will be considered our second check for the month of April and we are working with $1,880. Let's get into it. All right, so here I am using, of course, the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. It's the best book to get your budget situated, at least in my opinion, and it is highly recommended. All right, so this first section here, of course, is our fixed expenses, or where I like to put in all of our bills. So I do have Amazon Music that's going to be coming out for $22. I do have Best Buy. That is, of course, my debt that I need to pay. That is the minimum amount. Netflix is our streaming service. We also have Ring. We have Disney Plus. We have Paramount, Peacock, and my MasterCard, along with an account buffer. You can see this paycheck is, of course, highly heavy with a lot of streaming services. Eventually, one day, I'd like to reduce the amount of streaming services we have, but currently, that is not where my husband and I agree. So we are watching as much as we can on all of these services, and mainly it's for us and our children. It's our way of escaping at night when our children are going to sleep, and it is also something for us to do as a family on the weekends. So we're not ready to get rid of it, and so we're going to continue using these services, but hopefully we can get deals when we get closer to November. Hopefully there's like a Black Friday deal or whatnot, which we will cancel our subscription before that and then see if there's anything that we can sign up for. All right, so don't want to give that away. So in total, our fixed expenses, our bills come out to $494, and that is, of course, including our account buffer. So that leaves us with $1,386 left. Then we go into our variable expenses, and this is where I put our groceries, dining out, gas, and spending. Those are the four categories that I mainly track. I do not do subcategories because I feel like it is too much for me, and that's just how I work. It may not work best for other people, but this is how I do it. So the first one is the groceries, and I am going with the average that I spent in the first quarter. The average that I spent on groceries for a 2-week period was $331, so I'm sticking with it. Also for dining out is going to be $307, and this is mainly because we have scheduled sort of like when we have dinners, and the dinners are what are costly. I do have where once in a while I'll have a meal for work. My husband, of course, his only means of having lunch is by purchasing food outside. And so that is not something that will change. It might go lower, but it may not change. So this is the average. Gas is going to be put at $100. I know that usually in a 2-week period, I could fill up maybe once and then need to just top off maybe another time. And that usually will only come out to about maybe $60 that I spend. And the rest, of course, is to pay for my husband's diesel on his truck, which the diesel is more expensive than, of course, for my Pilot. Then over here, spending is going to be $157. Now, when we are done paying all of our bills and everything comes out, the account buffer goes straight into spending. And so the average is $257, but I put $157 because I know the 100 is in the account buffer. And so then that all totals out to $895. That leaves us with $491. Now with the $491, this is where our savings goals come in. And so I like to put some money away for emergency cash. So I'm only going to put $20 away for emergency cash. Yearly fees will be $25. I won't be able to put anything into the high yield savings account, and I won't be able to pull anything for savings challenges unless I have some rollover over here, and then I'll pull it for those. If I don't, then I won't. That's just how it is. But this is where I have to make a decision, and since I want to focus on paying down debt, I'm not going to put anything into the savings for this particular paycheck because I don't feel like there's enough wiggle room. especially since we will be focusing on paying down our next debt, which of course is Target. For those of you who have been following my journey through our debt payment process, we've already paid off 3 credit cards. It could be 4. Hold on, let me see. It's we paid off Sephora, we paid off Amazon, we paid off TJ Maxx, and now we're working on Target. Yes, so we've got some good work to do. All right, so we are putting $45 in our savings goals, so that leaves us with $446, which is going to go towards our extra debt. So we're putting the $30 that we always put every paycheck. That's a given. So no matter what situation happens, $30 always has to go to extra debt. This here is a debt snowball for Amazon, so that is going to be $34. We're also putting in our debt snowball from 2024, which is $200. We're putting in our debt snowball by canceling our Experian, so we put the $6 there. Credit Karma is amazing. It's a little hard to understand, in some of the things that it gives you, but it gives you so many things to look at for free, which is really good. So that's why I canceled my Experian. And then my debt snowball for TJ Maxx is $30. So all of this is going in here. These would have been bills that would have been paid this paycheck. But because we've been paying things off and we canceled this subscription, we're able to move these amounts here into our extra debt. Also, my husband did make a payment he did pay off one of his own personal bills. And so that came out to a debt snowball of $142. So we are going to be able to put a total of $442 towards our Target payment. Now, Target is not due yet. However, all of these other bills would have been due this paycheck. So what I need to do is I need to either move this money into our extra debt bucket in our Ally savings account, so that way it can accrue some interest while it waits to be used, or I can pull the funds out and I can have the cash on hand. If I have the cash on hand, then I need to make sure that I put it aside in my extra debt envelope, and from there make a decision on how we're going to do it. I'm very worried about having it on hand, because if it's on hand, then it's going to be too tempting to use. Whereas if I place it in the bucket on the high yield savings account, then I'm more likely to wait, and then I'll transfer it once the payment is due for Target. So I'm contemplating what I will do. If you were in this situation, how would you handle it? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, so all of these here then total $442. And I will have $4 left, which I'm going to keep in my wallet. I'd like to have $4. Why 4? I don't know. The only number you need to remember is 4. So that's what I'm going to put into my my wallet, my cash, my personal wallet. You never know. You need $1 for something. Boom, there it is. But yeah, so that's our budget. As you can see in our budget, we're taking care of all of our bills first. Then we take care of our family's needs, which are our groceries, dining out, gas, and spending. After we do that, then we see how much we're willing to save, what we can work with, and then whatever is left, we are putting this towards our debt. So that way our debt payoff progress can have some momentum, or at least keep the momentum going. So we do have a plan for how we're going to tackle our debt. All right, guys, that's it. That's my paycheck budget for my husband's next check for April 9th. We're hoping that things go smoothly. And if anything happens, at least we know we have a plan. All right, guys. Well, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you like this kind of content, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Well, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.